Okay, so the next part is to do solving by elimination. Now, elimination is one of my personal favorites because it works with very, very big systems. It's actually the best to use with large systems, which we will get to. But that's why elimination is really my favorite. So let's go through the steps first, and then I'll show you how to use them. Okay, you're going to start off, you're going to rewrite each equation in standard form. Okay, rewrite each equation in standard form, which if you remember is ax plus by equal to c. That's our standard form. Sorry, my pencil broke. Okay, so rewrite each equation in standard form first. Okay, once you're there, if needed, we will multiply one or both equations by a non-zero number. You can't just multiply everything by 0 and call everything 0. That doesn't work. But as long as it's a non-zero number, okay, we multiply so that the coefficient, remember that's the number out in front of the variable, of a chosen variable are opposites. Okay, and opposites, another vocabulary word, but opposites means that they have opposite signs. So, for example, 2 and -2. Okay, so the coefficients on whichever variable I choose, it doesn't really matter, whichever variable I choose, and I'll tell you how to some ways that we can kind of pick nicer variables to work with. Okay, and then you're going to add the equations. Okay, this is going to be something new for us. Add the equations. Okay, from there, find the value of one variable by solving the results from step 3. Okay, so once we add these equations together, okay, we should eliminate one variable. And you might want to make a note. This should eliminate one variable. If it doesn't, then I didn't do it correctly. That's why this is called elimination, though. We're just going to get rid of an entire variable this manner. Okay? And then I will find that value by solving, and then we will substitute this value into one of the original equations to find the second variable. And everybody's absolute favorite is we check, because it's math and we check, and that's what we do in math. So, let's take a look at that very first one. Okay, solve the system using elimination. Yes, you have to use the method that is specified. Okay, if it says by elimination and you use substitution, you're not going to get any credit. You have to use the proper method. Okay, we've done graphing, we've done substitution, now it's elimination. So make sure you're paying attention to the instructions. So, x plus y is equal to -1, x minus y is equal to +5. They're already in ax plus by form. Okay, they're already in standard form. Now, picking a variable to eliminate. Well, +y and -y are already opposites. Okay, those are opposites of each other already. They have opposite coefficients. Okay, 1 and -1. So here the coefficient is +1, here the coefficient is -1. Okay, so they are opposites, so we don't even have to multiply anything. So step 3 says add the two equations. You're literally going to add straight down. Okay, including the x's. Okay, so x plus x is 2x. +y and -y, those cancel. Okay, and -1 and +5 is going to be +4. So now we've just got 2x is equal to 4. Okay, like I said, I eliminated a variable. I got rid of a y. You have to imagine that when I'm solving systems, the only way I can get a value for a variable is if I have a single variable. As long as I have two variables, I can't really get a solution yet until I can get down to a single variable, and then I can solve for that variable. So 2x equals 4. So now we're at step 4, we just solve. So 2x equals 4 divided by 2, x is equal to +2. Okay, so now I've got x is equal to +2. Well, there's 1. Okay, there's 1. Now we need to find y. So we're going to take this and substitute it back into either one of the originals. It does not matter which one I choose. Okay, so we're going to take x plus y equals -1. Just because it's listed first does not matter. And I'm going to substitute. Okay, this is step 5. Substitute in. So I get 2 plus y is equal to -1. Now we solve, so -2, so y is equal to -3. Okay, but this is not my answer. Okay, I know I put a box, but I shouldn't have. Should have just circled it to show I was substituting. But a system's solution is an ordered pair. Okay, so just write this as an ordered pair. So the solution to the system would be 2, -3. That is the ordered pair. So if you think back to when we first started graphing, when we graphed them, we were looking for where they actually crossed. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So solve the system by graphing. We've already done this. Okay, so I'm going to go through it kind of quick. If I were to graph the first one, subtract x, y is equal to -x minus 1. We plot our y-intercept. Slope is -1, so that's down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, or up 1, left 1. Okay, we draw our graph. Through each and every one of those corners, making sure that it's super accurate. Straight edge would be better at this very second, but I think I did a pretty good job with my straight line there. Okay, so -x minus 1, so now we got to do the other one. So x minus y is equal to 5. Again, I'm still working on this equation. I'm just going to do the same equation by graphing. So x minus y is equal to 5, subtract your x, -y is equal to -x plus 5, divide by -1. So now I've got y is equal to +x minus 5. So we go down to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, graph that point. Slope is +1, so now it's up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, or down 1, left 1. Okay, so I draw my points, I draw my line. Okay, so there is my graph, and now they cross as my solution. Okay, well it just so happens to be +2 and -3. Okay, so that's exactly what this means. Whenever I eliminate and I find my variables and I have my coordinate point, that means that is the point where those two equations actually crossed each other. Okay, so that's 2 different methods for working the exact same problem. But again, we're going to work on elimination because when we start graphing, or when we start doing 3 variables, well, 3 variables is not easy to graph. So we'll talk about that during the next unit, but that's why we got to build this this other method, okay? So keep that in mind. It's not just to make you do stuff. There's actually a reason why we're making you do elimination, even though a lot of you guys would prefer to just do the graphing. Although some of you guys hate graphing, so elimination might work out better for you. Alright, so solve the system using elimination. So here we go. First of all, this is not ax plus by form. Okay, so before I can do anything, and I'm just going to do it over here to the side, I'm going to add the y over. So I get -2x plus y equals 2. Okay, and I've got -x plus 3y equals -4. That one was already there, so I just rewrote it underneath. Okay, so now I need to make a variable go away. So here I have -2x, positive y. So I've got -2x and -x. I've got positive y and positive 3y. So what I have to do is choose a variable. Doesn't matter which one. Okay? Pick a variable that you want to get rid of. So let's say, you might want to make a note. Choose a variable. Either or, this one's not going to make a difference. On this first one, I went with y because I already had a plus and a minus. Okay? So it was already set up for me. Here, I don't have any opposites. So I'm just going to pick. I'm going to eliminate x. Okay? So I'm going to go with eliminate x. Okay? You don't have to write that down. I'm just writing it down for the sake of notes. So if I want to get rid of x, well, I have to figure out what do I have to multiply by in order to make them opposites. Okay, if I want to go to a smaller, so from 2 down to this, I would have to use a fraction. I don't want to use a fraction. But if I multiply this by -2, okay, and you're going to multiply the entire equation. But when I multiply -2 times -1, I get a positive 2x. So a positive 2x is going to give me opposites. Okay? So let's rewrite the top one. -2x plus y is equal to 2. Okay, -2 times -x is positive 2x. -2 times positive 3 is -6y. -2 times -4 is positive 8. Okay, so let me say that one more time. I chose a variable. So in this particular case, I said I'm going to get rid of x. I could have done y also. But I said I'm going to eliminate x. Okay? So to do so, I have to make them opposite. So I had to figure out what would I multiply this equation by to give me a positive 2x, because this is -2x, so I need to make this a positive 2x. Okay, so a -1 times -2 makes a positive 2. So that's why I multiplied by -2. Okay, and whatever you do to multiply it by has to be multiplied by every single term. So -2 times -x, -2 times positive 3, and -2 times positive 8, or -4, sorry, it's positive 8. Okay, you multiply everything in the equation. Now, I have opposites. Okay, so if you go back up to your steps, I have my opposites. Okay, I've got a -2x and a positive 2x. So now we're going to add the equations together. Okay, so add them together. So, -2, positive 2, those cancel. Positive y and -6 is -5y. And 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay, next step is just to solve. So we're going to divide by -5. Y is equal to -2. Okay, I have one variable. I got rid of x so that I could solve for y. Okay, now I could do elimination again, but I don't need to. Now I'm just going to substitute. Okay, we've already done substitution. I just have to substitute one, which is even nicer. Okay, so pick one to substitute into. Doesn't matter. Let's go with the top one. -2x is equal to 2 minus y. Okay, so I'm going to take that -2 and plug it in. So -2x is equal to 2 minus -2. Right, because that's minus, and minus y means minus -2. So -2x is equal to 2 plus 2, which is 4. Divide by -2. X is equal to -2. So here's my point. -2, -2. Let's check it. Okay? You don't have to plug it in and fully check it. Just kind of mentally check it. -2 times -2 would be positive 4. And then 2 minus -2 would be 2 plus 2, which is 4. So that checks. Do the second one. -2 is positive 2 plus 3 times -2 is -6. 2 plus -6 is -4. So that checks also. Okay? So this is a solution to my system. Okay, so let's look at another one. I know this is a little bit, it's kind of a lot of information to take down. Hopefully you guys are all sitting very, very quietly so that you can get your test dropped like we talked about. Okay? Solve the system using elimination. Here we go. Has to be in ax plus by form first. Okay, so we're going to plus 3x to both sides. So I've got 3x plus 4y is equal to 13. Okay, this one's already in the right form, so I'm just going to I'm going to write it down again, sorry. Minus 9y is equal to 6. Okay, 3x plus 4y is equal to 13. 5x minus 9y is equal to 6. Now here, we have to look at the fact of what I have to multiply. I have no opposites. Okay? I have no opposites. 3 and 5, 4 and negative 9. Those are not opposites. But I can't multiply 3 by anything to get 5. Okay, at least not any whole numbers. And I can't multiply 4 by anything to get 9. Again, at least not any whole numbers. So instead, we're going to multiply both. This is kind of like finding a common denominator. Okay, only we want one to be positive and one to be negative. So for instance, if I go with 3 and 5, common denominator would be 15. Okay, these aren't really denominators, but a common factor. Okay, is 15. So I'm going to multiply the top by positive 5 and the bottom by negative 3. Okay, because then I would get a positive 15 and a negative 15. I could have put the negative on the 5 and the positive on the 3. That doesn't matter. Okay, all that matters is that when I multiply out my equation, so I get 15x plus 20y is equal to, okay, 5 times 13 would be 65. And then do the bottom one. So negative 3 times 5x is negative 15x. Negative 3 times negative 9 is positive 27. And negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Okay? So the whole purpose of choosing 5 and negative 3 is because they were common, essentially common factors right here. Okay, so I get a positive 15 and a negative 15. Okay, it's a lot like finding a common denominator. So positive 15, negative 15, they are opposites, so I'm ready to put my equations together. 15 minus 15 is gone. 20 plus 27 is 47y equal to 65 minus 18 is 47. Amazing that those horrible numbers worked out that way. It's like we planned it or something. Divide by 47. Y is equal to 1. Still not my answer. Still have to go through the rest of the process. So take that, plug it into either one that you want. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to plug it into the first one just because. So 4 times 1 is equal to 13 minus 3x. 4 is equal to 13 minus 3x. Subtract 13. Negative 9 is equal to negative 3x. Divide by negative 3. X is equal to positive 3. Now I have my numbers for my ordered pair. Final answer here would be x is 3, y is 1. That would be the point where those two graphs would intersect if I were to graph it. Try it out. 4 is equal to 13 minus 9, which is 4. That's correct. 15 minus 9 is 6, which equals 6. Yes, that is correct. So they do check. Again, you don't have to physically write it down if you don't want to, but it is a good idea to check it to make sure you have the correct answer. Okay? Your turn. Okay? Again, I know I say this on every single video that you've ever watched, if you've ever watched a video for my class, but hit the pause button, and if my sub could please possibly hit the pause button here, give this thing a shot, okay? And then whenever she pushes play, she or he, whenever the sub pushes play, check it to see if you got the same answer that I got. Don't just wait, okay? Go ahead and try this. Otherwise, it's not going to really help you unless you try these things, okay? So here we go. AX plus BY equals C. AX plus BY equals C. They are both in standard form already. Look at us be nice to you guys and give you the easier one, okay? So now I have to decide which variable I want to eliminate. Well, I've got a 3 and a 2, okay? So if I'm going to do those, I would have to multiply both equations. Or I've got a 2 and a 1, Okay, so the easier one here is to multiply this top one by negative 2. That way I only have to multiply one equation instead of both. But it doesn't matter. If you tried it and you got rid of your y's, that's fine. You would have to multiply 1 by a positive 3, or by a negative 3 and positive 2. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to eliminate x, though. Okay, that's what I'm working on. Eliminate x. Okay, doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm just writing it down so you can see what I'm working with. So, here we go. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6y. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. So, equals, not plus, equals positive 10. Okay, negative 2x, negative 6y, positive 10. And then we just bring the other one straight down. 2x plus 2y equals 6. It's all set up. I have opposites. Again, after this first step, if you go to add these and I don't have opposites to eliminate, then something went wrong. Okay, so negative 6y plus 2y is negative 4y. Watch your signs. 10 plus 6 is 16. When I divide by a negative 4, not just 4. Okay, so y is equal to negative 4. Okay, y is equal to a negative 4. So now, take my negative 4, plug it back into either one. I'm going to just use the top one because it's just as easy as the other. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 5. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, so x minus 12 is equal to negative 5. Add the 12 over. X is equal to positive 7. Okay, so there are my 2 points for my ordered pair. Okay, 7, negative 4. Again, you can check it. 7 minus 12 is negative 5. 14, 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. So they both check, which means it is a solution. Okay, so of course we haven't talked about no solution and infinite solutions, which we know has to happen. So let's talk about that now. Okay, so solve the system using elimination. So same process. I've got to figure out what I'm going to eliminate. Okay, so this time I'll eliminate the y just because. Okay, I typically go with whichever variable doesn't have a number out in front. It's just usually easier to me. Okay, but they are both negative, so negative and negative. So I'm going to have to multiply this by a negative 4. So that a negative times a negative makes a positive 4y. Okay, so here we go. We get negative 8x. Okay, negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative y is positive 4y. Equal to negative 4 times 7, which is negative 28. Okay, on the bottom here I get 8x minus 4y equal to 1. Well, when I go to put those together, 0, 0. Okay, so I get 0 is equal to negative 27. Just like with any other thing, okay, it doesn't matter that we are working with systems, it's still the same concept. My variables canceled. The numbers that are left are not equal, which makes this a no solution. Okay, this is a no solution. So there are no solutions to this particular system, which means, if you think back to the graphs, that these have to be parallel lines. Okay, and that's what we call the inconsistent system. Okay, same thing here for the next example. So again, okay, this time I'll solve for x. Okay, I'm gonna eliminate x this time instead of eliminating y. So I'm gonna multiply. I need this to be a positive 9 to go with my negative 9. So I'm gonna multiply by 3. Okay, so I get 9x minus 3 times 2 is 6y, and 3 times 2 is 6. I don't know why I drew a line. Please ignore the line. Getting a little crooked. Okay, so then I've got negative 9x, positive 6y equals negative 6. Same sort of thing. Here we go. 9x minus 9x, that's 0. Negative 6y plus 6y, that's 0. Okay, that stuff all canceled. 6 minus 6 is 0. Well, 0 equals 0. That is a true statement. So anytime is a true statement, that means we have infinite. Before it was all real, but remember that's with a single variable. Now when we're working with two variables, we're going to call that an infinite set of solutions. Okay, infinite solutions. So here we are again at a your turn. Okay, if the substitute would please hit that pause button. Okay, hit the pause button. You guys give it a shot and then see if you got the same answer as me. Alright, here we go. 4x minus y is equal to 17. I've got a negative 8x plus 2y equals 0. Okay, I've already got a negative and a positive, so this just needs the 2, so we're going to multiply by 2 on top. So I get 8x minus 2y is equal to 34. Negative 8x positive 2y equals 0. Cancel, cancel. 0 is 34. Not on any day that I know of, so that would be no solution. Okay? So, that would be the ones that are set up as systems. Now, we could have something that looks like this. Okay, which is basically just a system, okay, that they didn't set up the system, but we're going to put them together. So they say if 4x minus y is negative 1, and x plus 2y is equal to 11, what does x minus y equal? Okay, don't let that scare you. We have 4x minus y is negative 1, and 2x x plus 2y is equal to 11. That's basically just a system. Okay, so x plus 2y equal 11. That's just going to be a system. So then, if I can figure out what x and y is, then I can figure out what x minus y is. Okay, so let's find x and y. So I'm going to set it up. I'm going to do a system. So I'm going to go with this eliminate the y this time. Okay, because I've got a negative and a positive, so this top one just needs a positive 2. So we get 8x minus 2y is equal to negative 2. Here I've got x plus 2y equals positive 11. Okay, negative 2 and positive 2, there's my opposites, they're gone. 8x plus x is 9x. Negative 2 plus 11 is positive 9. Okay, so then divide by 9, and I get x is equal to 1. Okay, x is equal to 1. So same sort of thing. And if you chose to get rid of your x, you would have gotten the same thing. These would have been different numbers, but you'd have still gotten x equals 1. Okay, so then let's take a look at y. I need to take this value and substitute it back into an original. Never use your changed ones, by the way. Okay, because if you accidentally messed up when you multiplied or something like that, then it could change your answer. So take it, plug it into an original. Okay, so I'm going to use the x plus 2y equals 11. 1 plus 2y equals 11. Subtract 1. 2y is equal to 10, which means that y is equal to 5. Okay, so when x is 1, y is 5. But that's not my answer. They want to know, what does x minus y equal? Well, that would be 1 minus 5. Okay, which would equal negative 4. So x minus y is equal to negative 4. That's my actual answer. Okay, so you got to look at what they're actually asking for you. So last year turn of this particular lesson and this particular unit, you're going to have a quiz on Friday, okay, that you will take. So I hope you paid attention to the video. If you didn't listen to the video, it is on my website and you can go re-watch the video because you will get a quiz on Friday and there will not be quiz corrections this particular time. Alright, so hopefully you tried the your turn. Okay, hopefully you tried the your turn. Here we go. Set it up as a system. 3x plus 2y minus 7. 3x equals 2y. I don't know why I keep writing a plus when I should be writing equals. 3x equals 2y minus 7. y equals 2x plus 2. So here's my system. Remember, it has to be in ax plus by form. Okay, so we need to move that negative 2, that 2y over, so I get 3x minus 2y is negative 7. Okay, same thing here, subtract your 2x over, so I get negative 2x positive y equals positive 2. Okay, negative 2x positive y equals 2. So then we will eliminate. Okay, you could have used substitution if you really wanted to. It didn't say what method you had to use. Since they had y already solved here, I could have used substitution, but I chose to use elimination. It's completely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate my y's because I don't want to multiply twice. So I'm going to eliminate y's. So I'm going to multiply this by positive 2. Okay, so now I've got 3x minus 2y equals negative 7. And I've got negative 4x positive 2y equals positive 4. Okay, put those together. Negative x equals negative 3. So x equals positive 3. Divided by negative 1, right? X is equal to positive 3. Okay, but we want to know what x plus y equals. So now we need to find y. Okay, so take that, plug it back in. I'm going to use the y equals 2x plus 2, just because it's already solved for y, so that makes it easy. So y is equal to 2 times 3 plus 2. So y is equal to 8. Okay, and then they want to know what is x plus y. So 3 plus 8 equals 11. So x plus y equals 11. Okay, and that is the end of this unit. And you will have a review and a test next week when I come back. Good luck.